Looking out at a beautiful shot at Butler University. We are glad. Oh, look at the sun starting to come up. This is a really pretty shot. We're going to soak this all in because the rest of our day might not be so pretty. We're glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise, and we do want to let you know about the weather a little bit later today, even though this morning is starting off pretty quiet and dry, at least in the metro area, Lindsay.
It is, yeah. So the earlier the better if you have to get out and do a little traveling. We've already been tracking widespread rain down the I-65 corridor, and it started to fill in kind of around the city. So we're awaiting it. Let's take you out to the radar. Talk about the rain right now and what's headed our way, because I think it's going to be a pretty saturated day. And as the day plays on, rainfall will be heavy at times, and that could potentially lead to a flooding threat. Right now, not much around Marion County, but just to our south, we're starting to see that rain fill in on top of Greenwood as we speak over towards Shelbyville, and it has been a little more active across the western tier of the state, moving now into Montgomery County, down into Putnam County, and some stray showers out into Hendricks County. This has been where the organized rain has settled in during the overnight. Columbus south to Seymour, we've had a steady rain, and that's now getting ready to lift into portions of Franklin County down into Decatur County, southern tier of the state. Not a ton of lightning with this. In fact, it's been a little more stormy, if you will, down near Louisville. But there are several rounds of rain that are still actively developing along this low pressure zone that's situated right near St. Louis this morning, attached to this stationary boundary. That's likely just going to hold steady here near the Ohio River Valley for today. And all of this moisture working its way from west to east along this boundary. So that's where our higher chance of severe storms will be today, mainly across far southern Indiana versus for us here in central Indiana. We're going to tap into some of that rainfall today. Right now, we're just reporting some overcast skies. It is 69. Rain chance going to elevate through the morning. A little bit of a lull just after the lunch hour. And then I do believe as we get into the evening and overnight, rain's going to be widespread and likely. There's your severe risk for today across southern Indiana. Coming up, we'll talk more about this rain timeline as we head into the weekend in your full forecast. It is 6:02 and a quick update from the traffic center. We've got a crash near the South Split that is causing some pretty big problems right now. Still seeing some flashing emergency lights up the way here, and this is the backup that is developing. This camera you see, it's actually looking north from Raymond Street. So all of this is going into the South Split, the crest actually just before you get into where I-65 and I-70 split off. So we've been monitoring your drive time, and it has started to grow. Now in between the South Split and 465, that stretch of 65 should take about 4 minutes. That's what it is going southbound. However, 65 northbound is now up to 21 minutes because of that crash. And you can see that stop and go traffic that's now starting to approach Keystone Avenue. So just a heads up there, that is our main problem spot out there right now. Guys.
Thank you, Lindsay. A developing story we're following this morning. Recovery efforts should continue this morning on the northwest side of Indianapolis.
This after 4 people in a kayak went into the water in the dark. It happened before 10 on Sheehan Place last night near West 46th Street and North High School Road. Pike Township Fire tells us 3 of the 4 people were removed from the water, but we do not know their conditions. As of our last update, we know that 4th person had still not been located.
Yeah, this was at a neighborhood pond that they went into that water. Crews wrapped up for the night around 11. We are checking back in to see if they'll be heading out to the scene again this morning and what time. A Pike fire captain says he didn't think anyone on the kayak was wearing a life jacket at the time they went in the water. Another developing story we're following this morning. A man hurt after a shooting just south of downtown.
IMPD confirming that man is in stable condition and receiving treatment. We know this happened at an intersection of West Moore Street and Missouri Street, just south of downtown, around 2:30 this morning. Police tell us the victim was in his car when someone else pulled up to him in another car, shot into his vehicle. Well, the victim was able to walk to a nearby gas station and ask for help.
Police believe that the two did know each other. They are currently checking for any surveillance video in the area to find that other car involved. With just 1 week left until the 4th of July, Airbnb stepping up efforts to stop the parties before they even start.
So the company is activating a new anti-party technology in Indianapolis. And as we've reported, short-term rental parties, they have already been an issue here we've seen in the past. Marina Silva joins us to explain how this will work. Good morning.
Well, good morning. This technology is not new. It's been around for years, and so have the problems with out-of-control parties at short-term rentals. Well, now ahead of the 4th of July, Airbnb says it's using that technology to help stop those parties before they start. So the technology looks at the length of the trip, the type of the listing, the distance between the listing and the guest location, as well as the date of reservation to help determine the potential risk for an unauthorized party when bookings are identified as higher risk. Now, the guest will either be blocked from the booking or be redirected to alternative accommodations on the platform, like a private room in a home or a hotel. Now, last 4th of July, Airbnb says they blocked about 100 bookings in Indy, and we spoke with one host who says it does take some research.
Our house, 2-night minimum, will eliminate 90% of that crap. If they want to party, well, you got to pay 2 nights.
Now, one of the other tips he gave, make sure you're talking to your neighbors too. Let them know it's a short-term rental and get to know them. So I was curious what Airbnb would do if I wanted to go book something. So I clicked 4th of July, check in, check out on the 5th. And I only put one person, but the options that it was giving me were either hotels or private rooms in somebody's home.
Yeah, and if I wanted a hotel, I would book a
I'd
hotel.
book a
I was
hotel.
gonna say, they should have asked parents in the 80s. They have mastered that party lockdown, as it's called. Okay, hopefully this will help, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Marina. Well, an 18-year-old man is now charged in a deadly shooting that left a 15-year-old dead in early March. Investigators believe 18-year-old Dwight Knox and Trayvon Riggins arranged a meeting on social media to sell a gun. Police found Riggins shot near an apartment complex on the northwest side, and he died in the hospital. Knox is now charged with murder and robbery resulting in serious bodily injury.
A juror is now facing up to 180 days in prison or a fine after a mistrial in an Indianapolis murder case. That juror is accused of speaking with a witness outside of the courtroom during the Tony McClure trial. The juror is now charged with indirect contempt of court. McClure is charged with starving her 5-year-old daughter, Kinsley Welty, to death. Her trial is now set for late August. IndyCar driver Graham Rahal is explaining his recent criticism of crime in Indianapolis.
Got a lot of attention over the weekend. You may remember he posted on X calling Indianapolis, quote, a dump. Well, he described an event that he hosted where he said even the security guards didn't feel safe near Monument Circle.
Rahal spoke with our Anne-Marie Tiernan to talk about those comments and the backlash. He says that since that post, he's hearing from a lot of people who agree.
I can tell you that my comments were very supportive. One group that I'm very close with has a business downtown, a large business downtown, and they have a garage that is attached to their building. And they have to hire private security now to get their staff to their cars at the end of the day. That is not okay. That is not the way that Indianapolis should be. It has become more than one social media comment. And has stemmed into something that I hope we can all come together and start to create some good within the city.
Rahal lives in Zionsville and moved to the area 16 years ago. He says after the racing season, he is happy to work with business leaders to look for solutions.